Hey everyone, I want to take a moment to talk about something really important: mental health and addiction. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health or drug addiction, especially if they're facing chronic relapses or have a history of bouncing in and out of treatment centers, I want to recommend Baja Rehab. Baja is a premier lockdown treatment center located just 45 minutes from the San Diego border in beautiful Mexico. I've had the opportunity to visit their facility, and I can tell you firsthand it's not only stunning, but also equipped with everything needed for recovery. They offer comprehensive medical detox and have a dedicated team of drug counselors and specialized therapists. If you are ready to take the first step towards healing, call Shalom, the intake director, at 619-855-6368. That's 619-855-6368. Your loved ones deserve a second chance, so don't wait until it's too late. Reach out to Baja Rehab today. This is the Fuck Fentanyl guy letting you know if you or a loved one is injured in a motorcycle accident, then call 1-800-Lawtigers for a free case evaluation. We are available 24/7. That's 1-800-Lawtigers with over $1.5 billion recovered in verdicts and settlements. Nobody got your back more than Lawtigers.
I look real good today. 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 Jumping out the motherfucking Bentley. Rolling in, I got some new Balenci's. Walking with a pocket full of Benjis. I'm a 10-piece. I look real good today. I look real good today. I look real good today.
Yeah.
I look real good today.
I look good. OT Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
It's kind of one of those things you jump up in the morning like, what do I got to play to make myself feel good?
Fuck yeah. It is.
Yeah.
I'm Luis Romero, and I'm the Fuck Fentanyl guy, and this is the Fuck Fentanyl podcast. I have my homie Carter on. How you doing, dude?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Good, good. I look good with my living clean shirt.
Living clean, brother. That's
yes. I love it.
Yes.
So it's something that you just recently started embroidering yourself.
Right. So the company's been around since 2019.
Yeah.
My buddy Art started it with another guy named Juan.
Yeah.
And just recently we started doing it again, getting back into the circuit.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of became partners with Art. So
Nice.
now we're just living clean to the fullest, you know?
Fuck yeah.
And it kind of encompasses everything. Drugs, alcohol, gambling,
Absolutely.
everything.
Oh,
So-
everything.
So if you look at it, it's actually living X clean.
Oh.
So the X encompasses everything, you know? It's just kind of like, yeah,
I
so-
never realized that. Holy
yeah,
shit.
you know, some people have different addictions than other people.
Yeah,
you know? Gambling,
absolutely.
sex,
yeah.
porn, weird
Those-
stuff.
yeah,
you know?
weird shit.
But we all have issues, you know, and
Yeah.
it's with a little bit of self work and you know, it is what it is.
Yeah,
man.
well,
We
yeah.
Get better.
Fuck yeah,
One
dude.
day at a time, you know.
One
what I'm
day,
saying?
absolutely. Where are you from, dude?
Vista,
Oh,
North
shit.
County, brother.
North
Town
County.
local, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Born and raised.
Yeah.
I mean, so much so I was born at Tri-City Hospital, 83, you know. So,
No shit. Damn, dude. That's cool.
Yeah.
So you always just stayed in that area?
I mean, I grew up there,
Mm-hmm.
Vista. Never really left Vista until I joined the Army.
Yeah.
I joined the Army like 2001, right after high school. Took off, you know, went to Korea, went to Georgia, Washington, Iraq.
Oh, fuck. Seriously?
Yeah, and then came back, stayed here for a couple of years, moved out to Tennessee for a while. And then, you know, came back to Cali, dude. Cali's where home is, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
No, I feel you, dude.
yeah.
Like, because I've thought about leaving a few times.
Yeah.
But then it's like every time I'll go out, even just for a little bit, I'm just like, fuck, dude.
It's kind of hard to leave here, you know. Like
Yeah.
other places are beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I've been all over.
Yeah.
But there's just something about California, something about the atmosphere.
Yeah.
I mean, it does suck. We pay a lot in taxes.
We
and
pay
all
a
that
lot.
shit,
We pay a
but
lot.
you know, this is the place, dude. You know,
Absolutely.
you know, and I got a long time best friends here, you know, and
Yeah.
so it's good. Most of my family's here.
Yeah,
About
same here.
About 95% of my family's here. So
Exact same shit.
exactly.
We all actually live in Chula Vista.
Oh yeah, so you're good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're all up
this
in
is
North
my home.
County, so it's like, you know, we're all Vista, Oceanside,
Yeah,
San
yeah.
Marcos.
Yeah. You know, it's funny that it's like I never realized like how close knit all those cities are together.
Oh yeah.
It feels like you just go off one exit, you're already in the other city.
It's, when they say North County, it's like they encompass Escondido, Oceanside, Vista, San Marcos, Carlsbad. It's like boom.
Yeah, all together.
All together. We're all right there. It's like literally a 5-minute drive to each one.
Yeah.
The furthest is from Escondido to Oceanside, and that's like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
So,
right.
it's all good.
Yeah. So when did you started using drugs and alcohol?
I think in like 6th grade's the first time I smoked weed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, kind of they say weed's like the gateway drug or whatever. But
yeah,
I don't know. So I drank alcohol probably around that same time. Kind of
Okay.
wanted to fit in with the cool kids.
Sure.
and,
Yeah.
with the hot chicks.
Oh, for sure.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
And I didn't really do too much.
It was just whatever.
It's whatever in high school. I mean, even through high school, before I left for the Army, I think the most I did was I tried coke a couple times. I did ecstasy a couple times.
Yeah.
But
Like at a
mostly-
party.
Yeah, and mostly it was just smoking weed and drinking.
Mm.
Wasn't until after I got back till I started my hardcore use.
I see.
So,
So pretty much before you joined the Army, it was just like casual.
bro, I was just a regular fucking white boy growing up, and I'm half Mexican, half white.
Oh, okay.
Grew up in a Mexican style home. I got 3 sisters. They're all Mexican.
I see.
My mom's a white girl, but
Yeah.
she's like, So a little bit of backstory.
Sure, yeah,
like
yeah.
my mom and my dad are both ex gang members. My dad actually, he was actually till the day he died, he was a gang member.
Oh, active.
Active gang member, Vista Homeboys. He was actually murdered back in October of last year.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Really?
over in Oceanside. Yeah, so I
Wow.
mean, it's still under investigation, that kind of stuff. Which is,
Oh my God,
it
that's-
sucks, dude. There's
course.
a part of me wants to get back out there, figure out what's going on.
Right,
But
right. What
when
happened?
we step into this side of the recovery, we have to leave that kind of stuff behind. So it's
Yeah.
been like a real
Letting
kind of
go.
a battle. But my mom, she grew up Vista homegirl, she white chick, dude, down for the cause.
Yeah, right. I know those.
But she got clean. She's got 30 years clean.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so my mom gives back. She works in recovery. She's
wow.
in treatment.
Oh, fuck.
She has for a number of years. A lot
Wow.
of people know my mom. Shout out to mom.
Shout out, Mom.
Amy Carter, Yeah, and then, basically I grew up with 2 drug addict family members,
Yeah, right.
But, in my household, my mom wasn't married to my father. So,
Oh, I see.
yeah, so I actually have a guy, the gentleman that I called dad, who I was lucky enough to be raised with, his name's
Oh, I
Ricardo.
see. I got you.
Raised me like I was his own kid,
Yeah.
Like I got his last name tattooed on my back,
I see.
like my sisters all come from him too. So, but
I
like,
see.
there's no difference. That's still my family, And
Right.
So I was raised real respectable, I had to have manners.
Mm-hmm.
Working, you got to work. You're a man. You got to live
Yeah.
up to your potential. So no slacking, no kind of willy nilly bullshit. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right.
it's like, dude, you're a man. This is what's expected of you.
Yeah.
My father Ricardo, he's a real great role model to grow up after. To kind of model yourself after. Hard working.
Nice.
Didn't matter if it was Saturday or your birthday. Like you still got to work. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And,
No, absolutely.
that's kind of grew up with that mentality, So
Yeah.
I come from a good household.
I see.
I surfed, wrestled since 2nd grade, surfed since before I can remember. The typical Oceanside kind of
Right,
stuff,
right.
skateboarding. I think I even did a little fruit booting in there a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Little rollerblading. I mean, I played hockey too. So,
I see.
like I said, like soccer, hockey, baseball, wrestling, definitely. Surfing all the time. Beach kid, just grew up
Right.
regular lifestyle, bro. Like just
Yeah.
come from a good family,
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to have 2 parents in my home.
Right. Absolutely.
But besides that, nothing crazy, dude.
Yeah,
like just straight up, like I was blessed,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I was kind of a little curious. So is it maybe the Army that kind of pushed a little more of the partying?
Definitely.
Because I know of several cases like that.
Yeah, and I don't regret joining the military.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
So a kind of how that started was, I started experimenting with pot a lot when I was in high school,
Sure,
like
sure,
I said.
sure.
And my mom being a recovery counselor and stuff was like, she
Yeah.
would notice, plus your mom
course.
always can tell, and
For sure.
my mom's no
Moms
dummy.
always know.
Exactly. Like I gave birth to you. I can
Yeah.
tell. And I remember one day, like it was just, I think everything happens for a reason. And I remember one day coming home, my mom looking at me like, I want you to pee in this cup. And I was like, why?
Whoa.
She's like, cause I think you're high. And I was like, I'll just tell you I'm high, like I'm stoned. And
Yeah,
she was like,
save the
oh
cup.
yeah, and they sent me to a rehab in Helix. I went there. Yeah. It's like 15, I think I was.
Shit. What the fuck?
Was in a rehab for some weed, and everybody's coming out of juvie. They're all like these
Right.
hardcore skinheads and
Right,
shit. And
right,
they're like,
right,
what are you
right.
in here? And I felt like Too Good on what's his name? Thurgood.
They're good. Half baked. Yeah.
Like, you in here for some weed?
Yeah. Marijuana.
Yeah, exactly.
Boo this man.
Yeah, exactly, dude. That's exactly how it was. I was just this little fucking white kid,
Yeah.
Like I said, so when I joined the Army, which I don't, that was a blessing in itself. It's taught me a lot of intestinal fortitude,
Yeah.
Honor, self-respect. I'm a patriot. I love this country. I love what it stands for. It gives me a sense of worth. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like an accomplishment.
Right.
But when we got our orders to go to Iraq back in 2003, a lot of things happened, bro. I was infantry, so I was I was a charted company 2-3 infantry, 1st platoon, big balls.
Yeah,
Shout out to my homies out
Shout
there.
out.
2-3 Fort Lewis.
Yeah.
And that's who I went to Iraq with. Back in October 2003, and we were there all the way until October of 2004.
Oh no shit!
So
I was like right when
full
the war,
year,
full-blown war was going on.
Exactly. When Bush was saying, Saddam, if you don't step down, we will destroy you. Like I was in the airport flying over to Iraq. So right when it all kicked off, it was pretty crazy, dude. And I would say that there's a lot of there's some things that you have to do, dude. Like without going too much into it,
Sure,
some things that just didn't sit well with me. I was never one of those kind of crazy fucking dudes that but like
gung ho.
Exactly, But I was a 240 Bravo machine gunner. So I mean, you could just imagine,
Yeah.
I was out for about half my deployment before I became a fire team leader. And dude, it's like every day we're getting fired at, bombed, mortared. It's just every day was, it didn't matter what time of day it was over there. It was just every day, constantly.
Yeah.
And we were always forward deployed. So like we didn't have anywhere we were just, we didn't sit anywhere. It was like we were always advancing forward. So we went through Fallujah, everywhere, Baghdad, and we made our way all the way south, all the way to the northern Syrian border. So it's like constant, just on your toes. Have to look around. You have to. This might sound funny, but like everybody was a suspect,
Oh, for sure.
If you ain't wearing BDUs, bro, like, like there's
right.
Because there's people over there that are Christians, but there's Sunni Muslims. There's
you don't know.
You don't know, bro. And like I remember, like sometimes we'd be walking around in Mosul, and it's like 2.5 million people, and there's like 60 of us walking around. So you have like this whole fucking town staring at you, and you're like. Obviously, you don't belong there.
No, right.
So it's like, and it was just inevitable. You could always just walk around with like this feeling of like being uneasy, just like on guard. You got to pay attention. There's so many things. And as being as like a fire team leader, I always had to like be extra aware of what's going on, so that if anything did happen, I could tell my soldiers what they needed to do.
Absolutely.
So I think after that, like when I got to finally come home, so like actually, when you're there on a they call it a hardship tour. They give you 2 weeks of leave. And I let all my privates go home. So all the kids, I call them kids.
Yeah,
I turned 20. I turned 21 in Iraq. I was a kid myself.
Right.
But I let all of them go home before I did. It's just the right thing to do.
Right.
I was there for so long. Like I literally, when my 2 weeks came up, I came home for 2 weeks, flew back. 2 days later, we flew back to the States. Like that's how like straight long I was there.
Shit.
But it's just crazy stuff, dude. I'll never forget. There's some things that I forced myself to forget, and there's some other things that like I made sure I forgot, you know, and like they'll come up. Things come
Sure.
up. Memories, just
Yeah.
smells, you know, like just all kinds of stuff, dude. And,
Right.
so when I got back, I instead of like doing what a responsible person does, you know, asking for help and
Right.
and you know, saying, hey, I have some issues, you know,
Right.
being in infantry, bro. It's like, if you're sick, you're a pussy. Like, oh, what do you take some Motrin? You got cancer? Take some Motrin. Call me tomorrow. You know, like, and there's
Right.
nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, like, when you're around a bunch of dudes, a bunch of peers, I mean, you just went to fucking war with.
Right.
Like, you know, you don't want to seem like that guy. So it's
Right.
just like the mentality.
You don't want to look weak.
Exactly. You don't want to look weak. And not to say that weakness is a bad thing, but like,
Right.
it's just, bro, I just went through a fucking war. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel good. Fuck that. Like, oh, I got little mental things. Like, fuck that, bro. Suck it the fuck up. And,
Right.
it kind of ended up biting me in the ass, you know?
Yeah.
When I remember coming back, like, so when we got deployed back, like, so my ETS date came up when I was in Iraq. ETS means end of time service. So like my date to get out of the service was already up. Like, so when I was getting deployed, they're like, yeah, you're getting stop loss. You don't get to go anywhere. You're a team leader. Like, check it out. You're getting deployed.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, oh, it sucks. Cause you know, like, dude, when I joined before 9/11. So it was like,
Oh yeah.
I went in, you know, I forgot to tell you what I was telling you about, you know, my mom making me piss in that cup. You know? Like that day, like if my mom and my dad are just like,
all together.
like, you know, like, oh, what are you going to do? Like, you want to be some drug addict, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, whatever. And then ring. And, you know, in my household, when your parents are fucking giving you the 10th degree, you know, like that's, you don't pay attention to anything else going around.
Mm-hmm.
And the phone is ringing. They're like, are you going to pick it up or what? And I was like, yeah, I guess. So I pick up the phone and Staff Sergeant Elzeroth, United States Army Recruiting Office. And I was like, dude, like, you know, like,
Really?
Exactly, dude. So he was like, yeah, we ever thought about joining? I said, when can you come? He said, well, I could be there tomorrow. I said, all right, come tomorrow. And like, I hung up the phone. My mom was like, who's that? And I was like, the Army. Mom was like, what? You know, so the next day he showed up and, bro, I was all about it, bro.
Yeah.
Like I scored real high in my ASVAB test. Like, you know, like I was a smart kid, dude. I never. So, but anyways, yeah, that's kind of how
That's how you got into the Army.
When I went down there to take my ASVAB, do my physical, do all that stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I didn't. Only thing I thought the Army was GI Joe. You know, like
Sure.
So I had no idea
Right.
what it was. You know, and I went down there to MEPS, and it's like all these people, and like, hey, there's 212 different jobs that you can
Right.
pick to be. And I was like, oh, cool. And I was like asking these guys, like, hey, what are you doing? What
Right,
are
right,
you choosing?
right.
This one guy's like, I'm gonna be a firefighter. And I was thinking, like, oh shit, you know, that sounds like a good idea. Like, all right, let me try that. So I went in. I'm like, well, what do you want to do? I said, I want to be a firefighter. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I do my physical. They have this horrible thing called the nuts and butt check, you know, when you gotta like,
Oh,
you gotta
God.
walk in, this old guy checks your balls and you get bent over to show him your asshole, you know. It's just everybody's
I've
got
been through something like that.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They call it the nuts and butt check, you know. And everything was good. And then at the end of like, so I told my recruiter, I said, hey, bro, like I smoke a lot of weed. Like, I don't know if I'll pass a drug
that's
test.
right, huh?
And they're like, oh, you know what? We got this drink you can buy and you'll be able to be all right. You know, I was
Wow.
like, all right, cool. So
Really?
we went to Interworld, you know, and
Yeah.
bought that Cheech and Chong drink. And I
No
was like,
way.
I'm set, dude. You know, just read the directions.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
Everything
yeah.
will be all right.
Yeah.
And so they take you down to the night before, so they pick you up, you go to a hotel, and I met this dude, I forget his name, but he was like a skinhead dude, you know, and he was joining the Army too, and he's like, hey bro, like, do you mind if my girlfriend and her friend come over? I'm like, no, that's cool, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Two hot ass chicks, dude. And dude, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I see boobs and I'm like fucking
Oh.
dumb. You know, like, oh, you want my truck? Here you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were smoking weed, dude. And I was like, oh, I know I shouldn't, but
Oh
I got this
God.
drink. I'll be okay, you know?
Yeah, for
And I
sure.
remember staying up drinking with them all night, smoking weed, and then 4:30 comes around, they knock on your door, it's time to get up. I'm like, all right, here we go. And I fucking drink the drink.
Right. Good to go.
Tasted like shit, you know, went
Sure.
ate breakfast, and on the thing it says, you know, pee twice before your third piss, you should be good. I was like, cool. So as I'm like peeing, like I noticed, like, you ever poured out Mountain Dew and you see like it's like a neon green color?
Sure.
And I was like, shit, okay. So I peed twice. It was like that. And I was like, okay, the third one's got to be good.
Yeah.
It's like I remember like doing all this, hours go by before they fucking, you know, like to you have to piss test.
Yeah.
And finally, they line you up in like this bathroom that's got like 30 urinals, you know, everybody standing there, you got to drop your pants, pee in the sink.
Yeah.
And I remember like peeing in, and I'm looking, and it's like neon green, dude. I'm like, fuck, I don't know if this, I don't know if this is going to fly, you know? And like one by one, they make you put it up on the shelf. The fucking doctor puts this thing over it. You sign your name.
Yeah.
Everybody's like dark yellow, clear. My shit's neon green, you know? And the doctor looks at me and he's like, I'll see you in 45 days. And I was like, yeah, probably. So I failed my first drug test for the military.
That's fucking
so
crazy.
They were like,
dude.
hey, dude, like fucking, I mean, I was getting yelled at. Like, I was like, dude, is this what even what I want to do?
Yeah, right.
And you know, like, I came back and I just really thought about it. I was like, this is going to be a good opportunity. You know, like I can use this to go to college. Like, you know, because, bro, I'm a smart kid, but like I used to not like apply myself. Like I'm just one of those kids where I was a kid to where it was like I could retain information just by hearing it. If it interests me, I can retain that kind of information. You know?
Sure.
Real blessed like that. I never really had study with anything. Like I always did good. My homework turning in sucked, but my test scores were always really good. You know? So it's like, fuck it, dude. I'll go to college. You know, I'll usually go to college. I'll get away from here.
Right.
You know? I was like, yeah, I'll join the Army. So I went back 45 days later, and they're like, hey, check it out. You failed a drug test, so your choice as a job just got cut in half.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, fuck, dude, what can I do now? And the recruiter or the liaison, he was like, well, what do you like to do? I was like, well, I don't know. I like to surf, you know? And he's like, check it out. Do you like laser tag? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, do you, well, what about jumping out of an airplane? I'm like, well, fuck yeah, I get paid for it? Yeah, dude. Sure. And he's just like, how about airborne ranger? And I was like, sure. I have no idea what the fuck that is. Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. So, you know, lo and behold, I go to, you know, August comes around. I go to get on the plane, go down to Georgia, and whole life-changing fucking, you know, just like they show you in the movies, like in Full Metal Jacket. You fucking shit, bird. You know, like full on, dude. And it's like, it's crazy, dude. You know, you meet people from all over the world. Like I still have friends, like my buddy Oglesby. Like I still talk to him all the time, dude. You know, like people that you build this camaraderie with, and you're like, it's like nothing else that you ever do. I know, like when you're out in the trenches and you're shooting up with people and shit like that, you build like a camaraderie, but like the brotherhood from like being in a firefight with somebody like time and time again, like those kind of things, it's just crazy, you know? And
absolutely.
So I go through basic training, do all that shit, go to airborne school, you know, and I was gonna, so when I was going to go to my unit and I just, long story short, I didn't fulfill my contract. So they put me in what's called a worldwide program. So I was like, oh, so basically like, hey, this is what you signed up for, but you didn't complete it. So guess what? We're going to do with you whatever the fuck we want to do with you because you signed your life away. Yeah. So guess where you're going? You're going to Korea.
Oh.
And so, you know, 18-year-old kid, I'm going to Korea. Yeah. And that's where my drinking first took off, you know, because over there, I don't know what the regular drinking age is, but like basically if you could see over the bar, you can drink, you know. So it's like, so I'm with a bunch of.
You look like a man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean exactly, like you know what I mean. And since I was infantry, there's no women around, bro. Like I was at Camp Greaves, Korea, north of the Imjin River. So it's like I could see as I'd walk out of my barracks room, I could see the North Korean flag, like dude, fucking huge, bro. It's like 3 football fields long, like a football field. It's huge, massive.
Holy fuck, dude.
And you know, like it's like you're in Korea. You're in. So you can't like stay the night places, you know. You have to like you're in by noon or midnight and everything. Like.
Oh shit!
So dude, we would just go and get drunk, dude. Get hookers and shit, just like you know things that young kids do, you know. And,
like Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket, bro, just in Korea, you know. And, so it was kind of cool, bro. But that's like where my drinking really started. You know, that was like the stepping stone, if you will, you know, because I didn't have anybody to teach me how to drink responsibly. It was just other kids, basically.
Right.
Like your buddies from high school, basically. And the only difference is now you don't have to go to school. The school you're going to, you're learning to shoot a gun. You know, and then on the weekends, everyone's fucked up, you know? So it's like, that's what we did, bro. And anyways, so as that started, I remember I was getting ready to leave Korea. That's like when this whole... everything was like popping off, you know, and 9/11 happened, dude. And it was like,
wow. So that happened while you were in the army.
yeah. So that actually happened like right before I left Korea.
No shit.
And I remember like calling home and like telling my mom like, "The fuck did I do, dude?" Like, you know what I mean? Like I joined, bro. I didn't join to go to war. I wasn't one. As much as a badass I want to sound like, that wasn't the case, bro. I joined to go to college because I was a fucking knucklehead and I didn't, take my SATs. I didn't plan for my future. This was my future,
Right.
And so when they tell you, hey, check it out, like we're going to war.
Yeah.
Check it out. I'm fucking infantry, bro. You're going to war.
Yeah.
Like there isn't a
front
fucking
lines.
Yeah, exactly. You're a bullet stopper. So I come back to the States. I get orders to go to Fort Lewis, and dude, within a couple of months, like, so we did all this training, fucking dude, solid. Dude, the military there's some fucking gnarly motherfuckers in there, dude. Like people that like all different walks of life, like
absolutely.
Cowboys, hillbillies, Puerto Ricans, fucking, Mexican guys, like, people from cities like, San Diego, people that are from like Biloxi, Alabama, like, you know what I mean? Just a wide variety of all walks of life, dude. And you get to meet like a lot of people. And that's where I like really learned, like, it doesn't really matter what you look like, dude. Your potential is like all in who you are,
Absolutely.
So I met a lot of fucking dudes that were fucking solid fucking people,
Nice.
But anyways, yeah. So I went to Fort Lewis. I'd say within a couple months after going to Fort Polk, Louisiana, doing the whole training there. Irwin, California, doing the training there. That's like a mock-up thing. I remember getting deployed. Like the day's coming, dude, and it's like, like I said, I had some. Getting ready to leave, like, I had to tell some of my soldiers, like, their mom, their dad, their sisters, their girlfriends, like, bring my brother home, and it's like, dude, so I'm like, I'm scared as fuck, but I can't be, you know what I mean? Like, I got to be that strong fucking, hey, like, don't worry, we're fucking, and every bit of it was true. Like, we're fucking trained to the max. Like, dude, we fucking drills, fire fucking, like doing mount, which is military operation, urban trains, kicking doors in, clearing homes. Like, I mean, dude, we did that shit till it's like, you do it so much to where it's not even like a second thought. It's just an action. Just you know what to do, So like being prepared wasn't the thing. It's just, you're going, you just don't know what to expect.
Absolutely.
What I mean? So, and like going from like drinking every night, partying all the time to like going completely sober to being in a fucking war zone is like a fucking huge mental kind of fucking
for sure
shift,
Yeah.
And dude, like, I mean, we landed in Kuwait, once we get in Kuwait, like, have you ever heard of a camel spider?
No, I have not.
Bro, if you get a chance, look it up. Camel spiders are fucking ugly. I've never seen one before. And like, so when we get there, like, we're in tents in Kuwait because you got to get acclimated to the heat. Because we show up in October and these motherfuckers are wearing like big old parka jackets.
God damn.
Is that shit ugly or what, bro?
Yeah.
Fucking ugly, right?
They're huge too. Holy
dude,
fuck.
They're big as fuck, bro. So like, check it out.
Look as big as this dude's leg. Fuck.
So I was always, I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not the tallest guy. You know what I mean? I'm about 5'5", And since I was a 240 Bravo machine gun, I also had a 9mm on my side. So after going to Kuwait, like, excuse me, I remember the first night that we were there, like, we had to set up these tents, and like we have spiders here in America, but
not like that,
dude.
No.
And I remember, like, what we do is called a fire watch. So basically, everybody's down, one guy's up pulling guard to make sure nobody comes in, fucks with anything,
Right.
And I remember, like, looking up at the tent, I'm like, what the fuck is that? It's like this thing on the tent. There's a couple of them. I'm like, what the fuck? God. And I just see it go, like, drop and like land on the ground, like scuttle away. So like, I got scared, bro. Not scared, but you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? So I wake everybody up, and everybody's like, then we like find these fucking alien looking fucking spiders that are not scared of you, and they're fast as fuck. And so like, not only now do we have one fire watch, we have one spider watch. So it's like, dude, like, we have crazy shit, And being, like I was telling you, I was the shortest guy, so like, it was always like, bro, we'd be doing, so when we would do outer cordon searches of like, so when we would go to do a raid on like a particular person of interest, like, we don't just guard that house, we guard the whole fucking city, And so like, and then you do, after we clear the inside, you kind of clear from the inside out. And then sometimes there's like dry riverbeds, and then, fucking, in Iraq, it's a different animal, dude. You're allowed to, every male's allowed to have an AK-47, you know?
Fuck, serious?
Yeah, so it's like by tradition, they're allowed to have AK-47s. And
Wow.
so we do raids on houses, bro, and it'd be like, you know, we'd find like 7 or 8 with like a bunch of magazines, and they'd always be like, oh, it's the babies, you know, like, okay, bro, you know, but some of them that were actually smart enough, they would go hide their shit.
Of course.
And so in like the dry riverbeds, they would like dig these fucking tunnels and like hide shit in there, you know, so they could come back later.
Right.
Of course, dude, being the shortest fucking guy, bro, more times than not, I'd be like, hey, Carter. You know, but gun 2, that's what my red gun 2.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, I have to go up there, fucking go with the flashlight and the 9mm, low crawl in these fucking tunnel holes, you know?
No way.
Dude. And it's like, dude, so like as I'm going in there, it's dark, I got a flashlight, and then you come up to this fucking camel spider, and it's like, boom, boom, you know, because it scares the shit out of you.
Yeah,
so now I can't see, I can't hear, I got this fucking ring in my ear, they're tied off to my leg, they're like pulling me back out, you know, like, what happened? And it's like, dude, there's a fucking spider, and they're like, the fuck, bro, you know, like, but, yeah, dude, just crazy shit like that. You know, all kinds of crazy stories, man.
Shit. That's wild, man. And you were in Iraq for a couple years?
No, 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah, so I did one full deployment, and then, like I said, my ETS date was over when I was over there. So when I came back, dude, it was everybody went back to our barracks, you know. But since it's called a short timer, like I went to another barracks with my buddy Oglesby, because our time had passed, and it was like, dude, you guys don't really have to show up or do anything because you're technically done.
Yeah.
But you got to show up to service or to like first call, last call.
Okay.
Besides that, stay out of trouble. So me and this guy would get fucking, he's a big dude from Kentucky, bro, would get fucking hammered every day. Dude, just hammered. Yeah. We're all by ourselves, you know, fucking. And at that time, I'm 21. We'd be going to the bars, just getting trashed, you know. And yeah, so basically, it's cause I think the term they use is called like a debriefing period. So basically, like it's you know, they want you to get back used to being in civilization, which do you ever fully you know, I mean, I think now I am. There's still a lot of certain things that I do that will never probably leave me. Like, you know, when I come into a place, I always look at my surroundings. It's like,
watch out for those spiders.
Gotta watch out for those spiders, bro. Like, no joke, those things are fucking gnarly. I tell people like, hey, have you seen a camel spider? Like, no, and they look at it and they just like you do, like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, dude. So you know, I got out, and I remember like coming home. You know, my family wants to have like a party for me.
Yeah, of course. Welcome home, yeah.
And I'm driving from Fort Lewis down to Vista. Yeah. And you know, bro, I'm 21. I got a fucking raced out GTI 2005. I bought brand new turbo timer exhaust, everything, dude. You know, just and I remember I'm like driving home and hauling ass, dude. I'm coming out of Oregon. It's called Grants Pass into California. Yeah. And me and like this Avalanche, this Chevy Avalanche, we're like hauling ass, and all of a sudden there's a fucking cop right next to us. He's like, pull over. I'm like, oh shit. And I look down, doing like 100 miles an hour. I'm like, fuck, dude. Fuck. You know, so he pulls us both over. Yeah. And this is like my first experience with like, I mean, I literally got out a couple hours ago, you know? So I'm like, fuck, I'm already getting in trouble, you know? And the cop comes over, he's all, driver's license, registration, you have a goddamn good reason why I don't fucking impound your vehicle. And I said, roger that, sir. Yeah. And he like, as he started to walk away, he turned around, he goes, are you fucking mocking me? I said, negative, sir. I just got out of the military. Like I'm literally just ETS, sir. And he goes, what unit? I said, Charlie Company 2-3 Infantry, sir. And he goes, oh yeah, I was in Bravo Company 2 Infantry. He's like, hold tight. And I was like, okay. Oh. And so he goes, and I see him fucking writing this guy, fucking dude. Like an hour goes by, he's fucking with this dude. I mean, we were breaking the law. Right. In a small country, a small city, you know. Like,
yeah, of course. You're gonna get hemmed up.
Yeah, exactly. And then I see him, he lets the guy go. Like I saw him write a ticket, you know. And then he comes over to his bike, and then I see him start writing shit down, and I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm not getting away with it, you know. I kind of that glimpse of hope because he was in the military. Right. Fuck, he comes over and he's like, get out of your car, and I was like, fuck, dude, here we go, you know. Like I get out, and he's just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, don't you use your fucking brain? You made it through Iraq, and like you're here fucking trying to kill yourself, like, you know what I mean? I was just like, oh, dude, I'm just happy to be back, sir. You know, and he's like, check it out. What are you gonna do with your life? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I haven't thought that far ahead. And he hands me a card, and he had his number. He's like, if you want a job, come get a job with me. You know? Wow. To be a highway patrol. And I was
Holy
like,
fuck.
okay, yeah, you know. And he's like, dude, just fucking get home to your family. I'm sure they want to see you. Don't be driving that fast. And that was it.
Wow.
So like I'm driving home and I remember calling my family and I called my buddy. I'll leave his name out of it. But
Sure.
he's like, dude, what do you want to do? We're all here. We're waiting for you, dude. Like we're having a party. And I was like, dude, find me some Coke. Like, I just want to party, dude. Like I want to find me some Coke. And he's like, Coke? Fuck that, dude. Like that's a waste of your money. I'm like, well, shit, I want to party, dude. I haven't done nothing. And he's like, I got something for you. You know, I got something for, don't trip. Like, all right. So I get home and we're fucking drinking, having a party. And later on the night, fucking pulls out this fucking glass pipe. And he's like, try this.
Dude.
And I was like, what's this? And he's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, all right. So he shows me how to hit it, you know, and he's just like, yeah. And I was like, I don't feel nothing. He's like, oh, but I, you know, my first time I didn't feel nothing, but I was high as fuck. You know?
Right.
Like I was zooming.
Yeah.
And he's just like, so he's like, dude, you're never going to do this without me. Like, I'm going to keep you fucking. I'm like, what is this? And he's like, it's called meth. And like, I was so naive at that time. Like, I was like, okay, you know, he's like, dude, this high lasts for 3 or 4 days. So like, I literally didn't go to sleep my first time for like 4 days, you know? And I was just like, what the fuck? And I started coming down. He's like, dude, here's some more, you know? And it's just, that was the start of my fucking 20-year run, bro. Like, you know,
Holy fuck, dude.
yeah, as soon as I got back in, I just wanted some Coke, some fucking Coke.
Right.
So it's like
some innocent cocaine.
Yeah, you know, it's some innocent cocaine, and it's fucking meth started my journey.
God damn.
And dude, like fuck the travels and the journeys you go on. You know, like I'm not trying to glorify it, but it's like, dude, you did some crazy shit. You know, like, and I'm not one of those guys, bro. Like I never resorted to like stealing or like being like a fucking a menace to society. You know, like I just had a hustle, dude. And, you know, like I dated a couple chicks who were actually the dealer too. So like I never, bro, like my journey as being like a fucking tweaker was like, I always had dope, dude. Like, and if not, like when I did have dope, I made sure I paid back those people that took care of me. So I was always like, dude, no matter where I went, you know, always high, bro. Like I seriously can't remember. I don't think there was a day in that 20 years I wasn't high. Like I was literally high every day. Like every day. Like when I was jonesing, I knew somebody, you know, like.
Right.
So like I don't know, dude. Like
you always had the means.
Always had the means. Always like, you know, it was like, I mean, there was a couple days once or twice and it was like, fuck, I wouldn't get until later at night. But like nothing, never like, oh, we got to go fucking rob these cars to go fucking get.
Right.
It was never that kind of a situation, you know. Which is, I mean, in a way, that's being blessed too, you know. But
absolutely.
Like. You know, I never really I only got arrested a couple times, you know, like for paraphernalia, you know, like, and it wasn't until later on in my addiction because like, I remember when I first started, you know, like I like the only time I'd seen a glass pipe is when my buddy had brought it out.
Oh, serious? That was the only time?
Well, the first time, you know, and then after that was like foil. So I thought that's how I thought you smoked dope was on foil. Yeah. You know? I thought he had some futuristic shit. That you know what I mean? Yeah. So
he was ahead of the game.
Yeah, bro. Like, oh shit. And so like, you know, I learned how to press the foil, clean it off, dude. And that was like, that's how I did it for probably like a year. You know? And then finally my buddy's like, dude, fuck that here. And pulled out a glass pipe. You know, it's like, oh shit, this is that shit. You know?
Yeah.
And bro, that was like a whole other level. You know, that was like, like, I don't want to say the high was better, but obviously the high was better. It was more intense, you know. And you know, as you progress, like, you know, it becomes from I'm doing it to celebrate or have a good time to like I got to do it to get high, you know. And after about I want to say probably like my first 10 years, that's all I would do. I'd snort it every once in a while because you know you meet some chicks that like to snort or put it in their butt or whatever it is, you know. So like stuff. Exactly the fun stuff. So it's like, you know, but my main way was just smoking it. Yeah. And I remember one time I met this redheaded chick, dude, with big old fake tits, and she was like, have you ever shot up? And I was like, no, I'll never shoot up, you know?
Right.
And she was like, oh, you're gonna shoot up this one time, bro. And like I said, I remember earlier, boobs. I'm fucking stupid, boobs, you know? And she's like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna fucking shoot you up and I'm gonna fucking hook you up while I'm doing it. And I was like, okay, you know? And from that day, bro.
It was every day?
Every day, bro. Shooting up, man. Like, I got so good at it, I could be at a stoplight, bro, and like,
really?
My vein and just hit myself, and then it's like green light. It's like, you know, fucking go. Yeah, you know, it's like, and then, but I kind of like at the same time, like, you know, not a lot of people approve of shooting up, you know, so it's like in that kind of community, it's like kind of like, oh, you're shooting up, like fuck you, bro. It's the only way to do it, you know, like, And for me, like, it was such a better high that was the only way to do it. If I would smoke, like, it just wouldn't do it for me.
Right.
You know? Because
I know this. I know that feeling.
yeah, the intenseness, bro, just fucking.
And it's a ritual.
Dude, it's like, you know what I mean? And it's like, fuck. Plus, you know, it's like you try to get a chick to do it with, and when you do it, it's like naked time. So it's like, dude, that's fucking. Let's go.
Let's go.
And it was off to the races for, and I shot up hardcore for like 10 years, bro. Like so hardcore, bro. Like I went from like, you know, in this time, dude, too, like, you know, like I held down a job at a lumber company, and then I ended up going to college. I got my degree in computer science.
Oh.
I ended up working for this computer company for a number of years, and then one day I got like, and mind you, like I was making like over $100,000 a year, and like my best friend, who's still my best friend, he's in recovery now too. Like we both, luckily, thank God, we got into recovery. But bro, we were like partying like, bro, two young guys like in their 20s making $100,000 plus a year. Like
You got meth in the picture?
yeah, meth in the picture, bro. We live in Mount Carmel, like fucking, you know what I mean? We're like driving nice cars, fucking dressing in suits every day. Like, bro, we were doing it, like fucking. But like high class doing it.
Oh,
Like,
for
you know,
sure.
there's some people we go to, like, and they have like these downtown high rises where it's like all glass and shit. So we're like, we're fucking getting high with like a bunch of Asian chicks, like fucking, dude. And you're like 30 stories up where it's all glass, watching the Red Bull races. You know, just fucking life was good. You know,
The Wall Street shit,
dude. Well, exactly, dude. It was fucking crazy, you know, and that was like real good for a while, you know. And then I ended up getting busted one night, like a fucking. I remember I was leaving out of town, and one of my buddies, who was like a guy I didn't really associate with, because not that I was better than, but just, you know, I had a job, at a career. Like I was always working, you know, like, but I was still getting high. So he was one of the guys I would go get dope from, you know. He wasn't like a dealer. He was just like a connect. Because, because I didn't want to show up in a BMW all dressed nice to like we're in the hood and fucking like, you know, like, oh, dude, what the fuck, you know, like, who the fuck is this guy? First off, they don't know I'm half Mexican, so I look like a white dude coming up in a suit. Like, oh, that guy's a cop.
Right.
He's a cop. You know? And for a number of years, that's how like a lot of people thought it was. You know, but it's like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? The people that really knew me, you know, knew the whole story. They I was just one of the few tweakers that actually had a career.
Yeah,
doing something.
You had a good surface.
Exactly.
So,
you know? And I ended up getting busted one night. Like I had a fucking dude. I remember like my buddy was like, dude, I need help. I need to get out of here. Like. I'm like, dude, I'll come pick you up. Not thinking anything of it.
Yeah.
I go pick him up, and there's like cops, like it's. I mean, I'm sure we were high too, but it seemed like they're strategically placed,
right,
like down the road. And it's like every turn you make, and they're fucking right there, you know. And it's just. I remember dropping him off. He's like, "What are you gonna do?" I'm like, "I'm out of here, bro. Like, I'm going to San Diego. I'm going back to work tomorrow morning, you know." And as I was leaving, they pulled me over, dude. And of course, they found dope on me. They found fucking pipe. They found a collapsible baton that I had underneath the seat. And they overlooked everything except for the baton. You know, they arrested me for possession of a deadly weapon.
Damn, dude.
And I was like, "Fuck, dude!" So I go to jail, and I remember like thinking, like, "Fuck, what am I gonna do?" So I called my dad, and my mom and dad were always like, "Dude, you go to jail, you're on your own, homie. Like,
oh, for sure.
You fuck up, like you're gonna learn consequences," which I totally agree with.
Same.
So I remember calling my dad, like, "Hey, Dad, like, I need a favor," and he's like, "Are you in jail?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, we ain't gonna bail you out." I'm like, no, I know. Here's a number to my boss. Like, call Lucas for me. That's my best friend, still to this day. But you know, call him, let him know what's going on, dude. You know, see if he can fucking cover. Because I was in my probation period at that time. I think you had to have a year probation. I was like literally like a week away from fucking being off probation, and I get arrested. You know, so I'm not gonna show up the next morning. And I call him, and he's like, fuck. Or well, my dad called him. I called my dad back. He's like, I told him, but he told me, like, there's probably nothing you can do, you know? So I'm getting out of jail a couple days later. And I go to show up to work, and they're just like, oh, yeah, come in the office. Everything's all good.
Oh,
you know?
yeah,
Fucking
sure.
doo-doo-doo. And they're like, yeah, we're going to let you go. And I was like,
no.
You know, so I think after I lost that job, that's when I really started going downhill.
I see.
You know, it's not
The
necessarily
fuck it's.
Exactly. The fuck it's, you know, I got a job at fucking Food for Less. And, you know, shout out to Food for Less, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, just like, it just seemed like I lost all my ambition, all my motivation, anything that was like, I just didn't give a fuck anymore, bro.
Right.
Like, I've been at the top, and I've done all these things, and then it was just like, now you're fucking, you know.
Yeah.
So I just, for years, I was just slumming it, dude. Like, now, and what I mean by slumming, I mean like I didn't have a job. Like I was just hustling,
Yeah.
couch surfing,
Yeah.
you know, breaking my family's heart. You know,
Sure.
that's like when things really got bad because, you know, we don't realize the chaos that we cause our loved ones when we're in
No,
addiction.
not at all.
And the fucked up thing is like, my mom's a recovering addict, you know, and so she wants the best for me. And like, you know, bro, like I said, my mom's got 30 years clean. There's 2 other women that are her best friends. I like, dude, me walking in, like going home, it's like, and then all these people with years and years of recovery, been there, done that. Some are bikers, some are essays, you know, like, and I'm like, oh, I'm not high. And they're like, okay. You know? So like the disappointment, like, you know, the crazy thing is like when I sit back and I think about it, like that chaos or like whatever, like I could, dude, I'm sure I know now because my mom was telling me, you know, like, hey, like, dude, I would remember hearing the helicopters or the sirens and like wondering if I'm gonna get a phone call saying my son's dead or, you know, because I was, dude, a lot of my family are gang members. So like, you know, I would run with like a lot of, like I wasn't a gang member myself, but like I hung out with those people. Like those are the people associated with, you know, and, but the good thing is like looking the way I do, like I could also disassociate myself. And I had a whole bunch of white friends that were like up in the hills that I could get away from and do all that kind of stuff, you know, but like I was saying, like, the chaos I caused my family, you know, like, I do my family's kick ass, bro. I have a super good family. Like I said, I got 3 sisters, a bunch of nieces, a nephew, you know, my mom and my dad, a bunch of aunts. We're all like a real tight knit family, you know, like there's probably a good 25 of us. Like, you know, when we have like a party, there's at least 25 guaranteed, you know? And it's like, and I remember like, I would hate going home, dude, because like where I live, it's like, when you walk down this driveway, like my mom and dad's house is right there, and then my sister's house is in the same driveway. So it's like a cul-de-sac, you know? It's like walking down, and it's like they can see you walking down the driveway. It's not like you can sneak in. And it's just like, I remember everybody be like, fuck, he's back, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, fucking, what is he doing here? What's he want? He probably just wants to fucking take a shower, eat some food, you know? And I just remember like fucking, I would always ask my mom, like, hey, mom, can I get a couple bucks? You know, like, I need cigarettes and shit. My mom would be like, I know it would kill her, dude, but she, at the same time, being like a mom, she doesn't want to tell you no. You know? She wants to be there for you. So like, just crazy, bro. I remember like I got this van, like I got this Chevy Astro van from a buddy, and I fucking tinted all the windows, you know, and fucking I'd park at the top, I'd hide my rigs in the light, you know? And I'd begin, dude. I remember like this is like one of the instances where like I really started to like fucking like. I don't know if I'd have clarity. I don't know if I'd call it clarity, but like, you know, when certain things happen to you, like in your addiction, like you're like, fuck. And it's like one of those situations you don't forget. You're like, dude, fucking man, I can't believe I did that. I remember like my van was parked at the top of the hill. My nieces used to come on the school bus, you know, and like I would shoot up, bro. I'd fucking shoot up in my van, you know, and just like hide it. And, you know, fucking do God knows what fucking whatever a tweaker does, dude, you know? And, I guess one of my rigs had fallen out on the ground by the curb. I remember my brother-in-law, like, I didn't even know, dude. He came down the hill. My brother-in-law, he's fucking cool guy, dude. He's fucking cool, but there's certain things people don't tolerate, bro. They don't tolerate fucking rigs and drugs like that around their kids, you know?
Of course.
So he had every right, and he was just like, what the fuck is this? It's not mine.
Yeah, of course. That's the first.
What do you mean it's not yours? It's right outside your door. I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
And it's like,
I don't
dude,
know.
I have all these like fucking, you know, veins and shit. I'm like, okay, you know. I remember like leaving that day going like, fuck them, you know, like how dare they not believe me? Like give me the benefit of the doubt. And the whole time it's like I said, I got blown out veins.
It was pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious.
Exactly. Bruises. I'm fucking been up for like 7 days, sweating balls, you know.
They weren't convinced.
Exactly. Like there was like no pulling the cover of their eyes, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just shitty, bro. Like I just like things like that, like I still think about to this day, like it'll pop in my head. I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm not that person anymore.
I feel you on that one.
You know, it's just crazy, dude. Like I don't know, like, you know, kind of like getting back into like so I was just on this run, dude, and like I was like one of those people. I never had a vehicle. I mean, every once in a while I'd have a vehicle, you know, like I'd come up, have one for a couple month or two till the cops pulled me over because I'd never get it registered. Yeah, and they impound it, you know. And I remember this chick Kelly, dude, and she was like, I was telling her like, I remember I was walking home from the Vista Transit Center, and she works at this liquor store, and I remember going like, fuck, dude, what am I gonna do with my life? I just remember like looking in the mirror, being like, dude, what am I doing, dude? What the fuck am I doing? Like, and I'm sure, like, you know, you're like that greasy feeling, and you're just like, that's all I can explain. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
and walking in the fucking 12 o'clock sunlight, like,
Yeah, I know.
And I remember seeing her, and she would never judge me. I used to fuck around with her sisters.
Sure.
Both of her other sisters to get high, so it's like, you know, like me, bro. I'd always run with women. You know, like I just
Right. I know
yeah,
the
I
deal.
mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I just remember her like looking at me, and like just the look on her face was not of disgust, dude, but like of concern.
Sure.
It was just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
Like, so I guess that day, like, I must have looked really bad.
Extra bad.
You know, extra bad, you know? And she's just like, hey, can you help me out? And I said, what? She's like, I got this car. Like, they're going to fucking impound it, but like, blah, blah, blah. Like, can you get it running? And I was like, yeah, let me get it. She goes, I'll tell you what, you get it running. You promise me you go get clean, I'll give you the car.
Whoa.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like this fucking Mitsubishi fucking Galant. You know, like a fucking 98. Just beat the fuck up. People were living in it, you know. It was like, it got left like on the side of the road. But like to me, I'm like, oh, free car.
Yeah, woo.
So I ended up getting it. I ended up getting it going, you know. And she's like, you got to get clean, dude, or you can't have the car. So I was like, fuck, all right, I promise. I promise I'll get clean. Yeah. And I go to the dope house, and you know, I'm chilling there. Everyone's like, oh, you got a car? Let's go to the casino.
Right. Yeah.
Go to the casino, and like, you know, I lost all my money at the casino, come back. This dude ends up stealing my fucking car. This fucking piece of shit, dude.
Wow.
Know? And I remember, like, bro, because you could start it with a screwdriver. I mean, it was fucked up car.
Yeah, it was,
And I remember, like, you know, I saw the guy, because I passed out, and I saw the guy taking off in my car, but he took off. Of course, he took off.
Right,
you know?
right.
And I just stayed there all day, just kind of like, you know, and one of my homies called me. He's like, hey, your car's over here in Oceanside. Like, what the fuck? So I guess the guy was a fucking idiot, dude.
Of course he was.
He's just a fucking a wannabe. He's not a wannabe, but he's a gangster. But he's just a fucking lame dude.
Yeah,
you know?
lame.
Would pick on people that fucking, you know, he would try to push his way around, and just like, you know, he just ended up stealing my car, and so he took off. Type, bro. You know what I mean? Just fucking piece of shit. But obviously what he didn't know is that my alternator was bad. So I had in my trunk, I had like 2 fully charged batteries, you know. So like after a while, I had to switch out the battery. But he didn't fucking know the car died on him. So he left in Oceanside. He broke down right by the FRC. And
oh, that's hilarious! Right by there.
So somebody calls me and they're like, "Hey, your fucking car's right here." I'm like, "What?" So I have my homegirl take me. I go get my car. I come back to the dope house because I had a couple ounces. To fucking sell it.
Yeah.
And mind you, like just like the day before, I told my friend, "Yeah, I'm gonna go get clean," you know. And like, so all this shit, like, and at the time, my girlfriend at the time, she just got out of prison. Yeah. She was like, I'm trying to stay clean, like, you know, and of course, being my addiction, I was like, dude, fucking, let me borrow a couple $100 so I could re-up. And she's like, okay. And I could tell I put her in this weird situation, you know, because she really wanted to get clean, dude. She was a good chick. And I went re-up, got a couple ounces. Anyways, and then my car gets stolen. She's like, that's right, I'm done with you. Like, fucking broke up with me, you know, like, so like my girlfriend broke up with me. Fucking in the course of this time, like my best friend died. My fucking, you know, my brother-in-law died. I fucking just everything was going downhill. I lost my career. Like, so the accumulation of things. And like I said, you know, at some points we realized like, fuck, dude, those are situations. My brother-in-law caught me with the rig, you know, like just things were starting to add up. Like it wasn't fun like it used to be. Right. It was just fucking more of like the drug was doing me now instead of me enjoying it, you know? Right. And I'm at this house in Vista. And so he brings it back. Fucking, we get into this fucking fight, blah, blah, blah. And I remember like at the end, like I remember one of the things that fucking stuck on my head was like, did you call the cops? I'm like, bro, I'm from the street. Tell me we don't call the fucking cops, you know? And after our little scruffle was done, like I remember people going like, "You got any dope?" It's just like I remember like this is like 3 a.m. I remember like looking at people and just like, you know what? And I pulled this fucking ounce of dope out and I just pour it in the dirt. I was done. Wow. Dude, like, you know, because nobody was concerned about what had just happened to me. You know, like,
no, fuck no. You know, your drugs,
exactly. Like we know you got dope. You know, and I just dump it in the dirt. And I remember like I remember seeing
Such a
like
big
four,
fuck you.
yeah, just people like trying to pick it out of the dirt, you know. And I just remember like this feeling of just like ew, and like so
Right.
this house I was at, you know, there's like this long driveway. There's like a fast food restaurant right next to it. It's like, and it's next to a church. So there's like one long driveway. The only people going down that driveway are tweakers because it's only the one house
Yeah.
between a restaurant and a church.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
it.
like it's pretty obvious. Bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
The people out there in Vista know what house I'm talking about. But the dude there was a real good dude. You know, he's a fucking good guy. But it was just like it's fucking
It was
trash house.
yeah.
Know?
Tweaker pad.
Exactly, dude. And but anyways, I'm like walking, and mind you, my buddy I was telling you about, Lucas, that we used to work at
Right.
company with, he had gotten clean because like we'd go on benders, and
Sure.
he hit his rock bottom a lot sooner than I did.
Oh, okay.
And not to say like I could do drugs better or anything. He came to recognize like that's not the life you want to live. You know?
Right.
So he probably had, I want to say like 6 years clean. at this
Okay.
time,
Some
you know?
good amount of
like,
time.
Yeah. So I'm still running and gunning, and man, I hadn't talked to him in maybe like a year.
Mm-hmm.
Just fucking, you guys drift. You know, when you get clean, you kind of gotta change people, places, and things. You know,
Right.
but there's a certain people you never break that bond with. You know.
Yeah.
And I just remember like walking, and I'm like thinking to myself like it's the middle of the night, bro. Fucking, just kind of fight. I left the car there, you know, because I had the keys. I took the battery. I left the battery behind this dumpster, and I was just like, I'll go back in a while, get it, you know. I'm like walking down this driveway, and my phone rings. I saw the fucking Obama phone, you know.
Nice.
Thank God for Obama.
Thank God for Obama.
Yeah. And, the phone rings, and I'm like, hello, and it's my buddy Lucas, dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, I don't even want to talk about it, bro. Like, I just had I'm done, dude. And he's like, are you really done? Like, are you done? I'm like, look, bro, don't preach to me right now. Like, I'm not in the mood for it, you know? He goes, dude, think about it. What time is it? And I'm like, it was like 3:28.
Sure.
It's like 3:28 in the morning, bro. What the fuck? And he's like, God told me in a dream to call you, to reach out to you.
Wow.
And I was like, what the fuck? And I had like this,
Right.
you know, like that feeling of like kind of woo, you like,
Right.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He's like, are you done? Like, are you really done? Because I'm worried about you. And like, you know, rather I'm sure God did reach out to him in his own way through a dream. But when he woke up, he had the courage to call his friend, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happens that I was going through like this fucking gnarly time, dude. And I was like, you know what? I am done, dude. Like, I don't want this life anymore, dude. And he was like, all right, check it out. I'm going to call you back in a couple minutes. If you pick up the phone, I'll know you're serious. And so I was like, okay. Little did I know what he was doing, whatever. And I was just like, whatever. So I keep walking. I remember I sit on this wall. It's probably 3 minutes later, dude. I'm just like, fuck, what am I going to do? And the phone rings, and it's him again.
Wow.
So look, check it out. He's like, I got you a place in a recovery home down in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Can you be there tomorrow by 3 p.m.? And I'm like, sure.
All right.
Mind you, I still have this other ounce of dope in my pocket, you know? So I go back, I get my car, I call my fucking ex. I try to do as much dope as I can.
Sure,
'cause
yeah.
I
One
knew-
big last hurrah.
Exactly. I knew at this time, bro, I'm done. Like, I'm tired of being that guy. And I tried to do as much dope as I possibly could. I ended up leaving her with like a half ounce, you know?
Wow.
And I drove down to San Diego in that car that my friend Kelly gave me, you know? And, dude, and that was it. That was like December 4th. So that was actually December 3rd when he called me. On the 4th, I went down there.
Nice.
So my clean date's December 4th of 2019.
Hell yeah, dude.
And
Here you go, sir. This is for you.
and so when I got down there, it was just kind of like, fuck, what am I doing? Like, you know, all the uncertainty feelings, like, fucking, is this the right path? Like, what do I do now? Like,
Yeah.
You know, like, fucking, I don't want to fucking, dude, you know.
Yeah.
And my buddy Lucas was like, dude, I'll be your sponsor for now, you know, but like, so you're going to check in with me every day. You're going to fucking write in a journal.
Oh, shit. Okay.
You know, and I was like, well, fuck, how am I going to pay for this? Because it was $700 a week to be in that place.
Oh, yeah.
Now, mind you, my buddy he makes good fucking money, bro. He's like, don't worry about that. You get fucking clean, you detox, and when you're ready, we'll start fucking getting you a job and shit, you know?
Okay.
I'm like, fuck. So, you know, I go for it. I start, you know, I was still in contact with my ex. You know, like the first chance I got, like I took that car, went up to the Tri-City Zoo meeting on Friday night.
I remember that one.
Yeah, you know, and I fucking ran into her with like this dude fucking, and my sponsor and my grand sponsor now like they know about me, you know, like they knew like, all right, this motherfucker's about to do something stupid, and they pulled me outside, dude. You know, like dude, that's not the life you want, bro. Guess what? Check it out. You have to come with terms. Like there's certain things you did in your addiction, bro, that you fucked up and it's your fault. You have to take responsibility. She wanted to get clean, and I didn't want to do that, you know. But I thought, I'm fucking Carter. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
But that's not the case, bro. So that was like my first dose of like reality. So when I went back, you know, my goddaughter Belen had a quinceañera, and I went to the quinceañera. I got a pass, got to go to the quinceañera. Well, I have this cousin, dude, who's like a fucking full on. He's an awesome guy, dude. He's like a hippie, you know, like, you know, fucking believes everything organic. He's a vegan, like does everything. And
all that.
He's like, oh, I heard you're in rehab, you know, doing good. I'm like, yeah, you know. So when you first get there, you pee, and as long as your levels go down, you know,
that's all matters.
You're good, exactly. Well, I fucking my kidneys were starting to fuck with me because I had kidney stones at some point through the thing, you know. So I had to go have surgery. They put a fucking stent through my dick into my kidney, you know, just yeah, bro, just bads, you know. And of course, as soon as I get out of the hospital, I go right back to using. But anyway, so you know, he was like, dude, there's this kidney detoxifier, like it'll help you clean out your system. And I was like, okay. So I took 2 of these pills. Yeah. And it's all organic. It's nothing that would make you pop a drug test. But of course, when I got back, this was I think it was the 22nd, no, the 20th, or somewhere right before Christmas. And when I get back, they piss test me, and I failed for weed. Oh, so shit. So mind you, I'd only been there since the 4th, right? So it'd been like 14 days, 15 days. Sure. So you're still gonna test positive for weed, right? But since that pill he gave me was like a detox, it was like flushing my system out. So I mean, this is just my assumption. Yeah, it made whatever was in my body, you know, just kind of come out. Yeah. So, flushing everything. Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry about that. No, it's okay. My weed level, I guess, was higher. Oh, no shit. It was when I first got there. I see. So they were like, "What the hell is this?" Yeah. So they're like, "Okay, well, you're on restriction. You can't go anywhere." The owner came. It was Christmas Eve, dude. No. It was the 23rd. We have like a fucking house meeting. Yeah. And they're like, "Well, bro, you're out of here. You're fucking tested dirty. Like, you're fucking out of here." And I remember like, "Fuck you, dude. You know, like, fuck you." Because I was like, it's you. It's right. It's not me. It's you guys. Right. Oh, and I kind of had a justification, but at the same time, no, bro. Like, I should have just stayed the course. You know, I didn't relapse, but the proof's in the pudding, dude. You know, like, what are they? But they don't know me from anybody else. You know what I mean? And, dude, there's so many people trying to get into rehab. You know, of course. So now when I look back at it, it's like, dude, they did exactly what they're supposed to do. You know? But that was like my first test that my higher power gave me to like stay clean. Yeah. I mean, that's a big one. Yeah. I have like 15 days clean, 16 or whatever it is. Yeah. I remember they're kicking me out. Well, fucking, of course, I told you my car had fucking alternator issues. So like my car didn't make it all the way back. It's like a mile down the road on the side of the road, you know, in San Diego off of Home Avenue. Right. And I fucking, dude, there's this guy, dude, I don't know what this guy next to the recovery home. Yeah. Cool ass SA cat, dude. He had all these fucking bitchin' lowriders. Yeah. And he saw me out there one night, like because I would drive some of the guys to the meetings. Yeah. And he's like, "Hey, bro, like I see you changing your batteries all the time." You know, I'm like, "Yeah, my fucking alternator's dead." He's like, "Get a new alternator." I'm like, "Well, yeah, of course I would, but I'm fucking recovering addict, dude. I don't have money. I don't have no job, you know what I mean?" Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, check it out, homie. Like, bring your fucking batteries over and fucking charge them up, you know?" So when I got kicked out, like I was walking out of the house. And he's like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" And I was like, "I gotta go get my car, tell him to whatever." Right. Like, "Well, dude, if you fucking just give me a call, you know." And I remember he was like, "I'll give you a ride." And I was like, "Nah, bro. Like, I didn't want to be around there." So I was like, "Nah, don't worry about it." And I started walking through like downtown San Diego, and I'm fucking, I'll run people getting high, dude. Right underneath this bridge, and they're like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" And I just started talking to them. I remember seeing them because, dude, when you hit the pipe, you know that big cloud that comes out. Yes, you know? Exactly. So I was like, "Ooh, that's where I want to go." Yeah. So like subconsciously and consciously, I start drifting towards these people. And then I notice I step off of the sidewalk. Like, yeah. Now I'm making a decision to not keep on recovery, you know. As I get up there, they're just like, "Oh, you want to hit it?" Blah blah blah. And it's like after a couple of minutes, of course, you know, I was like, you know what? No, I don't, bro. Thank you guys. You know. And so I walk to my car. I call the guy. He comes, brings me a battery that didn't go to my car. But I got my. What had happened is I got to drive my car to his house. Yeah. He let me charge my batteries up. I had 3 batteries because that's Right. And I fucking charge them up, dude. And I called my mom and my dad, and I was like, look. Well, actually, at first I called Lucas, and I was like, dude, I got kicked out of this place, bro. Yeah. Sorry, but thank you for everything. Right. You know? And he's just like, don't use over it. Go home, get your base, get in recovery, do what you got to do, you know? And I was just like, okay. Yeah. And so I remember getting in my car, and I drove home. Oh, shit. I drove from San Diego up to Vista, and this is Christmas Eve night, dude. And you know, North County Recovery, bro, NA is fucking solid, homie. Yeah. There's so many good ass fucking people in North County NA. Oh, yeah. Like,
I know a few of them.
Dude, good people, you know? And like I said, my mom's got a lot of strong ties in there. And I kind of grew up in the rooms, you know, because my mom had so much time. Right. When she first got clean, like we were these little brats that would tag along with her, you know? Right. And they were having the 12 nights of Christmas. Oh, yes. And so I was like, my mom was like, look, what are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know. I'll find a meeting. I'll do something. My mom's like, look, there's the 12 nights. Get your ass in your car and go to the fucking meeting. And I was like, all right. So I called my friend Aaron and this chick Raven. I was like, hey, let's go to the 12 nights of Christmas. And they're like, okay, because I didn't want to go by myself. Yeah. You know?
I actually went to one of those.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
It's pretty cool.
It's a fucking cool concept, dude. It's like, you know, it's teaching you, like, dude, you could do parties and stuff and not to be all fucked up and still remember the whole party, you know? It's pretty cool, you know? And it was at this guy, Jeff's house, dude. They call him Sunshine, bro. He's a fucking one of those epic people, dude. Yeah. Just like, you know. And I remember I was like, I'm walking in, like, I'm like, fuck. And like, there's all these people I don't know. Right. And I walk into this inside, and it's like they're having like the meeting portion. And this lady, dude, her name's Michelle. She was just like, oh my God, like in the middle of the meeting, you know, because I grew up with her. She was my mom's best friend. She like was like, stopped the meeting basically and was like, everybody look, like, you know, when we pray at the end of the meeting, this is for what we pray for, like for people to find their way into the rooms. Like, you're here, you know, and like this guy Jeff gave me like this NA fucking office. Like, dude, like I'm nobody fucking special, dude. You know what I mean? Like I was just doing what we call the next indicated step. You know, like what was suggested to me. Go to a meeting, get into a herd, fucking, you know, get a sponsor, work the steps, you know, be a service. Right. And so I figured, fuck, I'll go to this meeting. And like I remember like nobody has to, bro. You know, in the real world, like nobody has to give a fuck about you. Sure. Nobody does, dude. You walk out this door and it's like you're just another fucking person. But like, you know, the people in North County NA like made me feel like I mattered. They didn't want nothing from me. Like I didn't have drugs to offer them or money to offer, you know. And they were just like, give me a hug. So it's kind of had to get used to the hug.
Oh, dude, yeah.
You know what I mean? And like
that's
the whole reaching out to people, like with getting a phone list going. Like, okay, I remember like writing numbers down to put out. Never.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call this fucker. Fuck these guys. I'll call the hot girl.
Exactly. You know, and, exactly, bro. And it's funny you say that too because so like I remember that night and I come back and that lady had called my mom. I was like, yeah, I saw Carter at the meeting. You know, it was real good. I'm glad he fucking stayed. And like, I met this fucking Asian dude, completely, dude. Like, you know, super. Just like, you know, when you meet people and their fucking energy is just like, it's a good dude. You know, like super nice guy, bro. Fucking just like something about him. He spoke very well. He you know, when his shares like had a purpose, not like he could turn anything. Like even if he was having like a bad day. His share, he would turn it around to be like a lesson learned. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, something like, this is what I learned that I don't, just because I got a flat tire, I don't have to fucking go get high over it. You know, like one of those kind of guys, you know? Yes. And that next night, like they had this, it's called the Candlelight Meeting at the Steps building, not affiliated with NA. Sure. But up in Vista, and I remember like I was telling my mom, like I want to go, like every meeting you go to, like I want to go to. Yeah. You know, and my sponsor now, he was one of my mom's other best friends is this lady Denise, who's a fucking awesome lady too. Got 30 years. So is Michelle. Her son, her son Josh, and me, we ended up like meeting each other before my mom and them met. So we worked at Cold Stone Creamery together. You know what I mean? In Oceanside when they opened it up next to the fucking movie theater on Mission. Yeah, I know. So anyways, so we just developed friendship. Then lo and behold, our parents become best friends. So we just like grew up together. You know, it's fucking awesome. And I remember seeing him at that meeting. And he was just like, yeah, dude. I was like, hey, I know you. Like, do you want to be my sponsor? And he's like, I would, but I think you should. I think you should step out of your comfort zone and pick somebody that you don't know.
Wow.
Somebody that that will make you feel like you're making a change in your life. Don't go with comfortability. Like he's like, and if you don't find anybody, come back to me. But like he was real adamant on like stepping out of my comfort zone.
Yeah. And
I remember seeing that guy Takashi there. Mm-hmm. Oh shit, I said his name. Anyways, so Takashi.
Yeah.
Shout out Takashi.
Shout out.
He's he was there, and like I remember him hearing about his story at this meeting, and his famous story is like, I got $2.15, and bro, but he was a different kind of addict. We're all addicts. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's Narcotics Anonymous, because we're all fucking addicts, but we can all fucking identify. And
right.
His story was like he was like, I don't want to put too much of his information out there, but he did different drugs than I did.
Sure.
He lived a similar kind of life where he's like more of a white collar like I was.
Yeah.
But the way he spoke about the program, and I was just like, you know what, dude, that's probably who I should ask, And I was asking my mom and a couple of the guys, like, oh, dude, that's a good guy, dude. He's a good dude, And so at the end of the meeting, I was just like, hey, I'm Carter, blah blah blah. Like, can we be my sponsor?
Huh.
He goes, I'll tell you what. I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no.
Oh.
What I need you to do is call me every day for 60 days in a row. You miss one day, and you're starting all over. I said, okay, then what? And he goes, well, after that 60 days, we'll start our journey. If you can keep your promise. Because you know what? I'm not here to hold anybody's hand. But if you want my help, I will show you the way.
Wow.
To the best of my ability, And it's just like, whatever, fucker, I was like, okay.
Hard to get.
Yeah, I was like, okay, whatever. So the next morning, I call him and I just text him. And, bro, like, that was my thing, That was like my first responsible thing I had to do. It taught me responsibility to keep my word again, And that next night, I went to another meeting in Carlsbad, and I remember I told you my now sponsor, but he was my buddy. He was just like, "You got to step out of your comfort zone, right?"
Yeah.
So we go to Carlsbad, and bro, there's like at this meeting, there's like a bunch of like beautiful women,
sure,
like a bunch of like more preppy kind of people, that I really didn't know.
Sure,
not to say anything bad. I'm not getting at that. I'm just saying like people I didn't know.
Right.
And I remember we're walking up, and he was just like, "Hey, dude, check this out. Hey guys, this is Carter."
Mm-hmm.
And like he's like, oh, and everyone's like, hey, Carter, I'm like, fuck, blah, blah, blah. And I look around, he's gone. And I was like, fuck, you know what I mean? But he was still there. He just was in the back, like watching me.
Right. See how you
watch me step out of my comfort zone.
Yeah,
like,
see how
putting myself out there to see if like I was actually, because I'd come in and out of the rooms before and be like, oh, I'm getting clean, but I never meant it. I just meant it to get my parents' help again, to see I was trying. But he's like, dude, you're on the right path, And so. 60 days goes by. Yeah. Takashi becomes my sponsor. And, at this point in my recovery, I'm like, I haven't picked up any commitments, but I started working the steps. And, since I'm a combat vet, I have the military that can help me out. And I was like, dude, I need to get housing. I need to get some housing. So I go to the VA. And of course, I got to do like all this medical, all this shit. I tried to get service connected for a disability. They kind of deny me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I need housing. This is what I need. And they're like, oh, you know what you need to do? You go complete our program, and then we'll talk about getting you housing. And I was like, fuck. So they sent me to this program called VVSD down in San Diego.
I know
Veterans Village, San Diego.
Yes.
Bro, it's not, I guess currently it's not open anymore. It's open, but it's not like it
used
to be.
It changed.
Exactly.
I know what you're saying.
But when I went there, it was like there was one civilian there. Everybody else was like military.
Yes.
And I'm like, dude, I think at this time I had like 90 days clean.
Okay. And
I was like, dude, I don't want to go to a fucking rehab. I don't fucking need this.
Yeah, you're already 90 days.
Exactly, bro. Like I had it all figured out. Fucking, you can't tell me. And I remember my sponsor going, dude, check it out. Like, take this time and take in everything you can. Like, take everything because right now you don't have a job. All you have to do is wake up and be where they tell you to be. That's all you got to do, And I was just like, you know what? I'll fucking do it. And he goes, dude, if you don't fucking like it, if you really don't like it, like there's the door and go refund all your misery. I'm like, there it is. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, and I'm hard headed, bro. I'm like, fuck walking out, dude. Right. You know what I mean? So I get there and this was like in, I want to say the end of February. Yeah. Right before COVID started. Yeah. And like, that's how my higher power works in my life, dude. Like, dude, I could have been new in recovery out on the streets when all the fucking meetings were shut down. Nobody could be around each other trying to fucking go through my fucking, you know? Yeah. No, bro, like the way my higher power saw fit for me was like, I'm in this rehab surrounded by recovery, dude, you know? So like when COVID hit, like,
that was,
dude, that's like,
no, yeah,
you know,
that was a sign right there.
Exactly. So I took that, you know, as I fully like, dude, the counselors in there weren't prepared for me, you know, because they go for like this, and you know, bro, like I'm nobody perfect. I just, but when I'm determined, bro, like when I make up my mind, that's it, homie. Like I'm gonna do what I can to fucking do it. And I remember, so they sit you down, they come up with like a fucking treatment plan. And, you know, hey, we're gonna check in all this. And I was like, cool. So, and then, you know, you go to classes in the morning, and so you do like a group thing, and then they give you like an assignment. And like, so I would do the assignment, and I'm like, dude, I need more. Like, you got to keep me fucking
right.
I need your help to keep me enthralled with this. Like, I need this. And so, you know, my counselor there, she was like, I got you. So I had all this fucking, dude, and everybody, you know, like, look, bro, recovery's immeasurable. I learned this that, like, you know, just because this guy goes to meetings 5 times a day and this guy goes to a meeting once a year, or that doesn't mean that their recovery is any less more meaningful to who they are. But for me, the more I do, the better I feel. You know what I mean? So like the more I stay connected, the better I feel. Like my recovery is like that refrigerator, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like on the outside, I'll look good. You know, you unplug it, I'll still look fine. Everything looks good. But then when you open it up, shit's starting to rot away, you know? And it's like things are starting to decay. And it's like, I feel like that, you know? Like I have people in my life now that kind of, I got a support group. I got these cool people in my life that like support me, you know? And they just, they recognize shit like that. Like, even though I know like what I need to do, like sometimes you don't want to fucking do it, you know? Yeah. I know. So anyways, they were like, cool, we'll fucking do it. So like, they have phases, dude. These phases. By the end of my first phase, like, so what you're supposed to do by the end of your first phase, then you get to like get a little bit more freedoms. You get your phone back. You
get all that nice stuff.
Exactly. They start trying to get you help. You start going to fucking medical appointments. Dude, I was already, by the time my first phase was done, I was already in my third phase. Like, dude, with all the work. So like, by the time my second phase came around, dude, they were like, the assignments that we have, like, you want to do them again? Yeah. And I was just like, well, fuck if I have to. You know? But anyways, I completed that program. Instead of going with housing from the military, I went through this program called VCS, it's Veterans Career Services. Sure. And bro, they like, so basically what they do is like, as long as you complete the program, show your certificate, you know, like they'll fucking help you. And so like, one of those girls that I went to that 12 Nights of Christmas with, she had a place, and there was like recovering addicts there. Dude, this bitchin' house in Vista. You could see the ocean from the window in the living room, dude. Like, and it just so happened like one of the roommates moved out. They're looking for a roommate. So I told them, hey, I found a place. Blah blah blah. Long story short, they end up paying your rent for a full 6 months. They pay your first deposit, last deposit. After 6 months, they kind of taper you down, you know. I got in there, bro, and like I ended up getting a job at fucking McAllister Institute. Nice. Being a homeless outreach worker, you know? Oh, fuck yeah, dude. So like, just like everything was falling in place for me to show that I was like on the right path. Like, it's been such a long time since I could remember, like, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, that next indicated step wasn't like a fucking forced thing. It was like, I'm already going that direction, you know? Like, it just, call it a blessing, call it just being at the right place at the right time. But like, dude, like, the more and more those kind of situations would happen to me, like I would be more and more enthralled with my recovery, you know? I started taking these cliches, like, you know, like I remember like fucking hearing, like, I don't want to go to the beginning of the meeting to hear the fucking readings and shit, bro. Like, fuck them over that shit. Right. You know, but it wasn't until like Takashi told me, like, dude, these things are written so simply that every addict can follow in their daily lives, you know? And they say that in the reading, you know? And if you sit there and you listen to it, like, it really is written so simply. Like, don't fucking pick up. You're having a bad time, call some people, be a service, go to meetings, you know? Like, it's these simple things that we as people fuck up. Bro, I'm a professional fuck up. Like, I can fuck everything up. Yeah. I don't need anybody's help, you know? Yeah, right. But so I took that time to just really, to get super involved. I picked up there was like this meeting that, like, I remember like one night I was looking and I was like, dude, what am I going to do? And there's this meeting, a bonfire meeting at the beach. Okay. And it's called the Wasted Youth Meeting. And I'm like, dude, I'm like 36. Like,
oh, yeah, I ain't going to fit in there.
Yeah, I don't know. So I ended up showing up, and it's probably, like I said, it was probably like January or something. You
Sure.
know? Cold. And there's like
Yeah.
3 people there, my buddy, and like, you know, that ends up becoming my buddy still. And
Yeah.
they were looking for a fucking secretary.
Oh.
I was like, look, I got like 4 months clean. You know? Oh, actually, no, at that time I just got out of VVSD, so I think I had like 6 months, almost 6 months.
Right.
And they're like, well, you know, you got to usually have at least a year clean for a secretary, you know, which
Yeah.
traditions, which is
Traditions, yeah.
awesome. But they voted on it, and they're like, hey, if you're willing to show up, fucking, and you keep showing up, cool.
Yeah.
So that was my first service.
Wow,
committee,
secretary.
you know, secretary of the Wasted Youth meeting. And it was a bonfire. Now, I wish I could tell you, bro, like I look you in the eyes and be like, hey, I did this because I wanted my recovery.
Yeah.
But you know what? The fucking horn dog in me and the person I am, I was like, dude, you know what? Summertime, bonfire, chicks, like this is going to be it. Dude,
Awesome.
You know? So that's what I'm going to do. But it just so happened to work out for me, bro. Like that taught me like the benefits of actually being a service, you know, like how, like, you know, how it keeps you accountable, you know, like, cause dude, like, you know, fuck it. Like I go to a men's meeting on Tuesday. Like I don't go every week because there's some days I don't feel like going.
Yeah.
But when you have a service commitment, it like keeps you accountable, you know, which is fucking awesome. If you really like just sit back and think about it, you're like, dude, this is written so simply, you know what I mean? Like it's fucking right there for you. And it's like, so I go and it's like, dude, I did that one. Then I did the Tyson Street. So I was actually secretarying 2 meetings back to back.
Wow.
One was Wednesday night, one was Tuesday night, both at the beach. Like I said, women.
Yeah.
It's gonna be that was my whole thing, but it wasn't recovery, bro. But it ended up turning into that, you know. Like I met a lot of fucking good people, and like the meeting got so big, bro. Like there were sometimes we'd have 100 people at the meeting.
Whoa.
You know, and so like we ended up fucking doing a group conscience. So we bought a fucking Bluetooth speaker so we could like talk, and I had a microphone like so people could hear, you know, because I don't know if you've been to a beach meeting, but it's kind of hard to hear.
It's hard to hear.
You got the public going on, you got the roar of the ocean, nature going on, cars. But so it was a fucking awesome meeting, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
And that's like I really fucking, like I met a lot of people, like, you know, like I remember like I would do my step work before I'd go there because I felt like I'd always had to prepare myself, like, you know, because I do. To me, like when you're a secretary, not that you run the meeting, but in a way you do.
Right.
We're just a trusted servant.
That's
you know?
it, yeah.
But like you represent that meeting.
Right,
So like
you're the
I had
face.
so many people. I'm not saying because of me. It was probably because of the beach. But in my head, it's because of me.
Yeah, yes, of course, of course.
Exactly, you know. But like, dude, like I felt this responsibility to like make sure that this shit was fucking where to go. Like so because you know when you have newcomers and shit, things are a little different, bro. Newcomers are most important people, you know? Which, and I get, and at that time I was so early in my recovery, but at the same time, like, dude, when you have old timers come, people that like recovery saved my life, motherfucker. Don't take this as a joke because it's not.
Right.
You know what I mean? People that come out of prison or do whatever, like that NA saved their life. You know, those are the people that fucking that were surrounded by me, my mom, all these people. You know.
Yes. So
like I felt like this responsibility to make sure that when they came there, it wasn't like, oh, this meeting's fucking stupid or they're not doing anything. Because you go to some you go to, and not talk bad, but you know, sometimes you go to meetings and there's people that are newcomers. Like I would make sure, like, because you know, part of what Takashi would teach me, bro, it's like first off, you're gonna shut up and you're gonna listen.
Right.
Like, you know, like just because like you've been to this meeting time and time again doesn't mean that this time's gonna be just like the last time. Like you sit there until you hear the message. Yeah. Like you never know whose story is gonna make you go, oh shit.
I know
God
exactly.
damn, you fucking hear it. I remember so many times at that meeting, bro. I was just like, wow, like, dude, that guy's fucking just like me, or his similarities, or wow, dude, that guy walked through his mom dying and didn't use over it. Like, what the? That guy's fucking found he has cancer and he's dying and he's still going to meetings. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, so this is possible. Like, no matter what, this is possible. All I got to do is not pick up, you know. Yeah. And if I do these things that are suggested to me, like, holy shit, it makes it a little easier. But you know, like it's something we're gonna fight with for the rest of our lives, bro. Something that we're gonna deal with the rest of our lives, you know. And that's okay, bro. But like, as long as I'm prepared for it, you know, like, so like I was saying, Takashi would teach me, bro. Like, you know, I remember he would tell me, okay, cool, we're doing our step work, and he's like, now we're gonna work on the resentments. What resentments do you have? And I was like, well, I don't have any resentments. You know, who the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah. He's like, dude, you're gonna have a resentment. Like, you know, you might not think about it now, but at that time,
it took space in your head.
You know, like, but like, mind you, like I said, like, now I know I refer back to my mom a lot, but In her recovery, dude, both of her parents have died. She's walked through cancers, walked her kids having cancer, best friends dying, like all this crazy shit, and she never picked up over it, bro. And I got to see that firsthand, you know. And it's like these wonderful women in the support group that would fucking reach out to me, be there no matter fucking what. And that's the kind of shit I sought after, you know.
Yeah.
Like this fucking, these are the people that actually give a fuck about you, you know.
Right.
So like, anyways, like he was just like, all right, you don't have resentment, okay, Mr. Carter, you know,
Yeah. Of course.
make something up, you know. And I tell this sometimes in meetings, you know, but like, what was real weird for me, like in my first couple months of recovery, like you know, I was sleeping on my mom's couch, and like, dude, there was just, I don't know what the name of this movie. I think it's called like Summertime or something. Yeah. And every night I'd wake up because I, you know, from the military, I have like this ring in my ear, so I have to have like some kind of noise in the background. You know? Right. And fucking HBO would be playing this fucking movie with Selena Gomez, and it was like she was at this party, and like there's naked chicks everywhere, and everybody's drinking, doing drugs, you know. Like it seemed like for like a week in a row, bro, I would wake up and it'd be the same part, movie, you know. So I remember one night I called my sponsor. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like I'm really struggling, you know. And he's like, you need a hug? I'm like, yeah, that'd be awesome. He's like, I'll be right there. I was like, what the fuck? What? He fucking came over, bro, and we smoked a cigarette, had a hug, you know, and he's like, hey, that's going to be, until you do some real work, that's going to be your reservation. It's like, what? He goes, the only way you're going to relapse is if Selena Gomez walks into your house with a rig and is naked. That's the only way you're going to do it. And I was like, all right, dude, you know, like, fair enough. You know, because in my head, bro, I'm good enough looking like I can fucking pull Selena Gomez.
You could pull it off.
You know what I mean? But
absolutely.
But like at the same time, it was so far outreach. Like that's like, he, with the work that we've been doing, like he recognized, like, dude, I'm stubborn, but like I'm still a human, you know, like there's still that potential to fuck up. But guess what? Like this is something that people have reservations. Now yours is going to be so, you know, over the top that like I'm not setting you up for failure. Yeah. But I want you to fucking keep working on yourself. Yeah. You know? And like I don't know, bro. Like I like the cool thing about it is like he taught me like the meanings of things and like why these readings are so important and why is everything, you know, set up the way it is, self-service, you know. Yeah. And I don't want to say nobody's impervious to fucking up, you know, we're humans. Oh yeah. But like for me, that. Like when people like, and I know people always say this, like, oh, you know, if I relapse, I'm not coming back, or like, you know, like fuck it. To me, bro, like when I tell you like relapse is not an option, it's not an option for me. Like I'm so fucking stubborn, bro. I will die miserable before I fucking pick up over it. You know what I mean? Because it's just how I am.
I can relate a lot to yours.
You know, and so like, but what I've learned through life is like, the military tells you piss poor planning causes for piss poor performance, bro. So like, if you don't plan for something or try to prepare yourself, like doomsday preppers, you got to stock your shit up to make sure that just in case this happens, you're set, right?
Cover your
so
ass.
Fucking bro. I would do this step work and be super thorough. And I remember like doing step work with this guy. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like I would write like one sentence things, you know? And he's just like, that's not good enough, bro. Like I need you to fucking dig deep. Yeah. Like I need you to prepare. Like that fucking day is going to happen. Because there's going to be a day that you're going to lose somebody you love. There's going to be that day that, God forbid, one of your kids gets hurt. There's going to be something so fucking traumatic that you know, no matter what, you don't have to pick up over it. Yeah. I want you to fucking get into that zone. And I was just like, I'll try my best, you know? Yeah, right. That's all I could do is try my best. Right. That's all I'm asking you, bro. Yeah. And bro, like, and still, even though like I don't do everything perfect, I'm far from perfect. But what I do through is, bro, is I did my due diligence for what I've encountered so far to make sure, because, dude, I'm coming up on 6 years clean, you know, and the you know, they say your disease is cunning, baffling, you know. It's fucked up, dude. It is. And, you know, like, and bro, I often refer to when people go, oh, yeah, you know, like, I'll have a bad day, and that's when my disease will be like, hey, fucking, oh, you know, you could just get high and fucking, like, dude, just do it. Dude, like, I did so much preparation on shit like that to tell myself I can't relapse. Now, like I said, bro, I'm not saying I'm better than anybody or anything, but I just know what I need to do to keep my ass in this fucking seat. Right. And so what I would do, bro, is I would just prepare for the worst. You know what I mean? Like, so my disease, bro, like people are like, yeah, you know, you hear a bunch of fucking well, my disease is in the corner doing fucking burpees and fucking.
Sure.
My disease is in the corner of doing fucking astrophysics, bro. Because my shit knows like fucking just run of the mill shit every day. Like that's not an excuse for me to get high, bro. Like so, like, and, you know, recently I've had dreams to where it's like using dreams, bro. Where like I'll wake up and I'm like, have I been using this whole time?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I get those too,
bro. Like crazy shit. Like, wait a second,
real
am I fucking
PTSD
using?
shit.
Exactly, bro. So it's like. It's just and you know what? Like, if I wasn't prepared for shit like that, if I wasn't fucking ready for shit like that, like, I could use over that shit because it feels so fucking real, dude. It's crazy. But I you know, and there's still so much work I have to do on myself.
Yeah.
You know? Like, fucking every day. Is you know, there's still sometimes I cry in the shower, bro, because I'm just bro, I liked doing drugs. Like, I didn't feel you know, I didn't feel like doing drugs was a bad thing. I never once thought like I was doing the wrong thing until the drug was doing me and I was the wrong thing, you know, like I was the problem, you know? And like I remember hearing this poem like one time that this dude fucking wrote when I was at VVSC, and it was like, it's I can't verbatim quote it, but it was like, it was the drug talking to the person. And it was like, I remember it saying like, remember you came to me, I didn't come to you. Ooh. And I was just like, oh, that's far out, bro.
Yeah.
You know? And so like, I don't know, bro. It's just crazy. Recovery is, I'm thankful for this fucking recovery, you know, like, like not all the, and so, you know, I've done around the steps. I'm doing steps again. I was in this, every Sunday with my support group, bro. Like, dude, my support group is fucking solid, homie. Good. I got fucking solid motherfuckers in my recovery, dude. I'm just, you know, and, not intentionally did I surround myself at first with solid people, but the way my higher power has set me up, the way like, you know, I've learned to do, like, dude, everybody that that's what I was saying earlier, like the people in my life that know me, they know what I do, bro. Like the people where you to be like, all right, who does Carter fucking associate with? All these little fucking things, all these people are in recovery. Right. All of them are in recovery. All these people run a solid fucking program, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, you know, and those are the people that keep me accountable, bro. Because, like I said, there's some days I don't want to fucking show up, dude, but I got to, you know? Yeah. You know, and so, like, not to toot my own horn, you know, but, like, to be, like, of service, you know, like, I fucking, I'm the North County PI, you know? So, like, I set up, me and my buddies, we set up booths. We try to give the word back because you're only giving what you got, you know, by giving it away freely. So, it's, like, given to us. So, it's like, dude, like, we'll sit in a booth and just like, hey, how's it going? You know, like, I don't know if you've seen the NA booth.
Yeah.
So that's what.
Like at the fair or something like that.
Exactly. You know, like right now they're doing it at the San Diego Street Fair, you know, or
Del Mar
County Fair. Yeah, Del Mar Fair, whatever it's called now, you know? And it's just like, dude, it's like, I don't get nothing out of it except for like that feeling of like, dude, because you like, you know, they tell you until you hear the message. I don't know if this story or whatever is gonna like touch on me, but there is. If I reach that one person, then that one person, bro, that's all. That's what matters. Like, because you know, like fucking, I don't have to, like they say, like you don't have to dance with everybody in NA, but you got to put your thumb in somebody's butt. You know, like somebody you're gonna click with. Like, and there's at that time that like you're fucking. That's not how the saying goes, by the way. But
but I like how you said it.
Yeah, you know, but like your story might just reach that one person where it saved their life, dude, or just be like, hey, you know, fuck it. If that guy can fucking do it, I can fucking do it. Right. You know? And like I said, nobody's special, bro. But like, I know that I only have to do one thing right, and that's not pick up, dude.
That's it. That one first step.
Yeah, dude. It's fucking crazy, dude. It's awesome.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, man, for coming down here, man, and telling your story. I found it really relatable, and I found it. I think I'm pretty positive that it's gonna reach out to a lot of people, man.
I hope so, bro. You know, if it doesn't, dude, this is an honor. It's an experience. It's just it's a way to give back, bro. You know, and it's like it's you know, this is fucking awesome, bro. Like, and you know what's real cool about this program too is like, you know, there's a lot of uncomfortability when you first come into the
Sure.
There's a lot of conversations that you need to have that you don't want to necessarily have.
Yeah.
So to like the newcomer, bro, like you know, what I would say is like, look, those uncomfortable conversations that I had when I first started got me to where I am today. On a podcast, speaking with you about fucking my strength, recovery, and hope, you know, and experiences that have maybe possibly helped somebody else. And I never would have done that if I didn't step out of my comfort zone and have those conversations and really take a real look at what was wrong with me and do what I needed to do to get better, you know? And that's what it boils down to, you know? Like, if you're fucking, if you are tired of waking up and being fucking like, dude, I'm a fucking shitbag, because that's what I would tell myself. I'm a fucking shitbag, bro. Like, I got a degree, I got all this shit. Nobody wants me around. Like, fuck, what kind of person am I becoming to? Like, you know, when I finally made a decision to get clean, like, you know, they would tell you, like, hey, bro, give yourself a year. And at the end of the year, if you're fucking, if you don't feel any better about yourself, there's the door, and they'll refund all your misery right outside. You know, like, fuck that, homie. Like, I'm here, and this is what I do, bro. And this is, you know, fucking, dude, living clean is fucking, dude. It's just everything falls into place. You know, I'm not saying that every day it's sunshine and rainbows, bro, but there's more sunshine and rainbows than our dark, cloudy days. Absolutely. And when I have those dark, cloudy days, I don't have to pick up over it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
That's all right, sir. Well, thank you again, brother. I really appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.